Richard, coming at us on the uh, iPhone or Android in the car, mobile, running and gunning. Yeah, looking forward to connect with you, talking about Shepherd's Tree Service out of Yelm there, south of Tacoma in Washington. Yeah, happy to have you on the Expert Circle podcast here. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Just wrapping up the day here. How's the day?
Well, so I actually have a regular full time job, and then I do my tree business on weekends, and
Yep.
so
Yep.
busy,
Okay.
busy.
Okay, that's interesting. Masochistic, hard worker, hustler. I like it.
uh,
Uh, Very cool. So, how long have you been kind of juggling your job and doing your tree service, and how's it going?
uh, the whole full story would be I started working with my dad when I was 13. It was his business,
Yep.
and so summer breaks, winter breaks, it was go to work. I didn't get the choice of staying home and playing with my friends.
Okay, that's it.
So yeah, so I started at 13, worked all through high school, working
Yep.
with him, and then he passed away in 2012. So I took over the business and then finally changed the name. Well, not really changed the name, but started my own business in, I want to say, 2017, I believe,
Okay.
when actually made it official.
Yep. Yep. So, Dad instilled that work ethic in you, and you're working from a young age, which is a gift.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Um, And what's it been like? What is some of the biggest challenges you faced, running the business yourself? I imagine juggling, what's your day job? Your other day job.
And my day job is I work for Tacoma Water and I
Okay.
run heavy equipment for them. And like I just worked last night doing a main break and then had to continue on and still do the full day's worth of work.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, so for you, it's keeping the legacy alive or get some extra money, or what's the end goal? Would you like to, eventually
Yeah, for me,
transition
it's
into full
mostly
time?
Yeah, I would say it's mostly keep the legacy alive because it's just in the family. I got family in Idaho that got sawmills, and it's just that side of the family's always been in logging industry. I mean, my uncle's 90 and he's still stump grinding.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just in our blood,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to pass on, to my two boys, and hopefully they may or may not take it. And if they don't, it's okay.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think a lot of the next generation, sometimes they get a little soft, it's hard to instill that, work ethic in these younger generations that are on their phones and doing
Yeah.
that all day long. But hopefully there's a mentality shift, as like AI is going to be taking a lot of blue collar and white collar jobs. And
Right.
we really do need more blue collar jobs. So you guys do a lot of, excavation, stump grinding. That's in your obviously the name of your business. I know a lot of tree trimmers don't handle, excavation because it takes a lot, but that's something you guys specialize in.
So I don't in my business, I don't do the stump grinding. I passed that on my uncle because that's his business.
Okay.
Um, but I have a little KX40 excavator, so I do some like small excavation, small leveling type stuff. Um, since I work for Tacoma Water, I'm in trying to get more into doing property side water lines, and then some side sewers, and
Yep. Yep.
the underground utility business is a lot more profitable than above ground climbing trees.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you juggle, like, during the weekdays and just in terms of the back end business side of things, taking calls, managing 2 things, and are there some software systems in place that you have that make that more doable, or you just kinda making it
Nope.
happen?
Yep, just old school, make it happen. I'm fortunate enough to be in position at the water company that I have a lot of free time on my hands. So I can take phone calls most of the time, or be able to at least call people back during the day, and then it's just set up times to go look at jobs after work on the weekends,
Yep.
in between jobs.
Sure. Do you sub out more stuff, to your uncle and to other companies than maybe a typical guy because you have a limited amount of time?
Yeah, probably. But I wouldn't necessarily say sub it out. I usually just give the customer his number and they work it out from there, so I don't have to be involved.
Yep, yep.
Because then that I find that is a little more difficult, come tax season. If I have to
Sure.
say, yeah, I sub stuff out.
Yep,
So I try to stay out of that as much as possible. And
yep. So what you are probably able to be really picky in the type of jobs that you take
oh
on.
yeah,
What is the, like, ideal job for you guys that
well, obviously, ideal job is to be able to show up to a customer's house and they have 20 acres and they just want a few trees taken down and we drop them and walk away. Ideally, I'd do that all day.
Sure.
Realistically, the ideal job is show up to a customer's house, you gotta climb 2 or 3 trees
Yep,
and get to walk away without doing cleanup. That doesn't happen very often either.
yep, yep. Do you
So,
have
and I'm
anybody
the
on
one
your
that does
crew
all the
that can
climbing.
help with the cleanup? Do you have a ground crew, or are you just a solo YOLO until your kids are activated?
I got my kid, he's 17, so he can help on the weekends. My younger son is 14. That's a little more hit or miss, getting
Yep,
him to come out. And then I have, actually another coworker that was in the logging industry also, and he's my faller, so he'll come out and help. And then other than that, it's pretty much just the 3 of us,
yep,
me, my coworker, and my son, the
yeah,
excavator, dump trailer, and truck, and tools and stuff, and then I
yep,
do all the climbing.
yeah. Logging's no joke. How do you is that how do you balance the logging jobs versus the tree trimming jobs? What percentage of the business is what?
Well, this year it's been more percentage of logging, land clearing than it has been actual tree service, which is actually kinda nice. A lot of times we'll do that on a daily wage type basis instead of by tree.
Okay.
We kinda have it figured out where we can get a certain amount of money per day, and that covers our cost in case, it's a slow day or whatever. But if we get it done quick, by all means, I mean, speed's your friend if you can do it safely.
Yep. And it's kinda harder to estimate on bigger projects with a lot of trees what's gonna be involved.
And the main goal for doing the day wage is the log market is so bad that instead of me showing up to your house and saying, "Hey, I'll take these trees down, we'll split it on a percentage basis, or I'll just take them down, then I get all the wood from the mill."
Yep,
It's just the log prices are so low.
yep,
It's a lot more of a feel good for the customer to say, "Hey, you can have all the money from your logs going to the mill, so you know exactly what they're worth. You just pay me that day wage to do, however many days it takes to get your trees on the ground and to
yep,
get the truck and get them sent to the mill." Then they know they're not
yeah,
getting, they don't have that feeling of, well, that logger, he just, he screwed me over.
sure. It's a little more upfront and transparent that way. Yep. And the mills, they come and pick up to do that, or how does it
Um, we have separate self loader trucks and just, your normal other business guy that has a self loading logging truck.
Yep,
We work it fairly exclusively with the guy, and we just call him up in the address and name and
yeah,
address of the customer, and he
yep,
takes it to whatever mill we tell him to take it to.
yep. So what do you see for your kids? Would you love to see them doing more of the logging side of things, more of the tree trimming, residential kind of stuff? What's your desire for them, fast forward X amount of years?
Think for me, it's not a big deal to me if they try to carry on the legacy, but I want them to be able to know how to do the work and have a fallback in case something does happen and they lose their job or whatever. Just have the knowledge that they can do it
Yep.
and they're not going to just drown because they don't have a job right now.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you install that passion with them? What's the balance that you've, you know, navigated to, get them excited about doing it, but not make it feel like you're pushing them where it becomes their thing and
The pay. They're motivated by pay.
yeah. What are
Uh,
they wanting to buy at 17? What is the and 14? What are the what are they using this money for?
well, my 17-year-old, he's spending most of it on hunting, fishing stuff
Nice.
and car stuff.
Yep.
And my 14-year-old, 14, he likes clothes and shoes, and he's more worried about his, what do they say? Their fit.
Yep. Yep. Look good, feel good. I get it. Hey.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
mainly just trying to get him to go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not hard for the 17-year-old because he knows he needs money because he's got to have gas to get to school.
So they're showing up with you, are they climbing? Is the 17-year-old climbing yet? Or is he
He's climbed a little bit, but he doesn't have the proper footwear just yet.
yeah,
So very little he's climbed, but he can. It's
sure.
just that's the only other side of the things is because I do it on the weekends, I need to be able to show up to that customer's house and get that job done within those 2 days I have to do it.
Yep,
So then it's hard for me to just throw the kid up the tree and say, go ahead and take your time. Go
sure.
ahead and, take your time, learn how to do it, and I'll be down here instructing you.
Yep.
It's you got to go get it done. So it's up to
I
me to
bet.
do most of that. So right now he's mainly both of them mainly are just ground crew and raking up and
Yeah,
cleaning.
yeah. Um, and so for you, like, if you wanted to be full-time, could you in terms of demand, how's
I
that
mean,
look?
there's a lot of competition out here. I probably could if I did some advertising, go and do it full time.
Yep,
But the current job I have is so good, and I get the benefits
yep,
that I'm not ever going to go full time.
yep. It's kinda like
Well, maybe maybe
you
when I
can do what you
retire.
can do it, and then as your kids kinda are able to step up, maybe you're able to grow the business a little bit in terms of the amount of jobs
Yeah,
you take on.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty
And
cool.
all that would really take a little bit of advertising.
Yep. What's you guys' secret sauce, magic? Why do clients like work for you? I see you got 75 5-star reviews. And so, yeah, what is it that, makes people so happy with the work you guys do?
Our transparency, communication. I always try to communicate as best as possible. Um, and my dad taught me from a young age, your word is your bond. If you don't
Yep.
have your word, you got nothing.
Yep.
So if I tell the customer I'm going to do something, regardless of what it might be, if I tell them something that I'm going to do, and I try to stick to my word and do that.
Sure.
Um, and then when we show up as a crew, because we've been working together now for at least me and my coworker and myself now for close to 10 years,
Okay.
and we show up, and because he's been in the industry and I've been in it, we mesh really well, and we know what the other person's going to do, and we
Yep.
know what the next step is to get that done.
Yep. And your coworker, does he have his own tree trim practice, business that he does other jobs on his own, or how does that partnership work?
No, I have the license and insurance. He's I guess you would call it my subcontracted faller, as much under the books as I can get.
Sure.
And then another thing that I think the customers like with us too is just I don't have any in my contracts. I don't have any little asterisk stipulations where I can change my estimate. If I
Yep.
screwed up on the estimate and gave you a great deal, good for you. My
Sure.
bad. Cut myself
Yeah.
because I didn't bid properly. But if my
And
bid doesn't change, it is,
yep.
if I tell
And
you a
you have the
number,
experience. You probably have the experience to do some good estimates too at this point, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. Um, gotcha. Um, Very cool. And then logging, I know, can get hairy. Any close calls that you've had? what's some of the craziest situations you found yourself in?
Uh, the craziest ones were younger with my dad. Uh, I had a couple trees go the wrong way and hit power lines.
Wow.
That was pretty crazy. Uh,
So what happens? The line just starts swinging willy-nilly, or there's a transformer
usually, if
blows?
you hit a usually if you hit a power line with a tree, one of the big breakers will pop,
Yep,
and then the line's dead.
yep, yep.
It's not as bad as everybody thinks it is.
And then you call the power company and say that the tree fell over without any you guys didn't do anything, and yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They show up, and then yeah, the insurance gets a nice bill.
I don't know how that happened. Uh,
Yeah, and yeah,
gotcha.
I've tipped it over the excavator.
Yeah.
That's a
What do
little
you
scary.
wow. What do you tell your kids, obviously, I'm sure even more important that you want them to be safe on the job, so what are the kinda protocols that you drill into them?
Really, just to pay attention to your surroundings, be where you can't be hit with anything,
Yep.
and even if you are going slow, just pay attention to what you're doing that immediate task, so you don't have your
Because
mind elsewhere, or you're trying to go too fast. Because at the end of the day, that's usually when the mistakes are happening.
yeah, at that age, are they a little ADD? Are they able to kinda get into a meditative state and with practice?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Um, Obviously, the 14-year-old has the most problem doing it, but as long as I keep his phone in the truck,
Yep.
he's he'll usually, he'll get in pretty well and get all squared away.
Yeah, those are good lessons I'm sure they're learning, and just disconnecting from the phone for a couple hours is a gift
Yeah.
so, um okay, that's pretty cool. Any kind of, you've been in the business, family business, multi-generation. What are the, biggest lessons you've learned? What are the biggest, what's advice that you have for other tree trimmer business owners, other guys in the trades, the next generation coming up?
Yeah, the biggest lessons I've learned kind of goes along with the business part of it is really try to tap into your intuition and listen to it. If something tells you, whether that's bidding the job or while you're doing the job, if some little spidey sense tells you this isn't quite right, or there's something wrong, just try to listen to it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't listen to it, stuff goes wrong. You
yeah,
hit a fence, or something.
yep,
It's just, yeah. And yeah, like I said too, it goes with bidding jobs. Sometimes you pull up and there's just some customers that you can just tell that it's going to be a pain. So let's not work with that particular customer.
yeah,
And that's where I feel I have a good kind of thing going on with my normal job, as I can pick and choose those jobs. I don't have to feel like I have to win every single bid to provide for
yep,
the family. If
sure,
I
sure,
feel like I don't want to work that hard, or the tree is more difficult than I would like to try to tackle on a weekend, I can
yep,
just straight up be honest and say, it's not worth my liability to do that job.
yep. It seems like, tree guys are a little bit more intuitive or connected energetically and weird woo-woo spiritual stuff
Yeah.
maybe than a plumber or a painter. Because I don't know, there's something about, I think, being in nature and being connected to, you know,
Yeah. You
so
definitely
many
have to keep your head on a swivel all the time.
and dangerous too, right? You have to be kind of on that
Yeah.
razor's edge mentally, so kind of this militaristic, you know, being in the zone thing, because it's so dangerous, and, also being connected to nature as well, there's this intuitive thing, I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah. And I've heard other tree guys too, like on, Facebook shorts and whatever. One of these trees is going to kill me. You just never know which one. So you
Yep.
try to mitigate that risk as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, So apart, I guess not apart, but just in terms of setting up the business for your kids, any future plans or things that you'd like to get in place for them, or they're just gonna have to step up and take things in whatever direction they want. What are your goals here, over the next couple years?
Yeah, well, next couple years, I don't see my role changing much. I'm still going to be in the thick of it. And as far as the kids taking it over, yeah, if they want to, great. They'll have
Yep,
the equipment to be able to do it.
sure.
And, that's all I really want to try to do is provide them the proper equipment in case they do want to take it over. Then they already know how to use it. They got it. They don't have to spend a bunch of capital to go and buy their own stuff right away.
Yep. Do they realize what
Right.
a gift that is? I, interview a lot of guys, and that moment where they have to go and get all this equipment, is like a really big thing, and then they got to pay that down over, and maybe it's good to have that kind of make or break moment where you got to go all in. Yeah, I'm not sure if your guys even know how big of a gift that is and how good of a dad you are.
Pretty sure they don't. Pretty sure
Yeah,
they don't.
yeah. Well, you can have them listen to, some of the podcast episodes we've interviewed, a good amount of tree guys. I think we only got like 7 episodes up on the website right now, but we got another 10 or so that are gonna be published pretty soon.
Oh, cool.
S Yeah, it might be inspiring to them and to see, the stories of a lot of different guys, different directions. Some guys have taken their businesses and focused on different niches and different things, so it's pretty cool. I've learned a lot along the way. It helps us to better service, our clients, and understand their industries and, kinda provide more than just kinda marketing services and just give them, feedback because a lot of these small business owners, they're solo YOLO and, it's not easy being a business owner, so it's nice to have other eventually, I do wanna do like a mastermind maybe once every 4 months or so, get a bunch of guys together on like a Zoom call and people can like, share, you know, best practices and different things that are working and just encouragement. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're so far into it family wise. I've had cousins that get killed in the logging, so it definitely hits home.
Yep. Yeah. Well, pretty cool that you guys have the family business. And any other advice to maybe the next generation that's coming up? Um, since you're in that space, parting final words of wisdom besides, the intuition thing, follow your intuition. I think that's good advice for, any aspect of business and life.
Yeah, really just prepare to work. Be prepared. It's going to be a full time gig. If you're trying to make it full time, then it's going to be more than full time. You're going to have days, nights, weekends. It's no joke.
Yeah. So what's your advice there? You gotta love it, or you just gotta put your hard hat on and get to it, or you gotta
Yeah, you
inherently
definitely
have
have
that.
to. Yeah, you definitely have to at least like it. You don't want to go to work and hate what you're doing or not want to be there.
Yep. Yep.
So
What's your
definitely,
what's your motivation for, getting up? What's your why, would you say?
I just mainly to provide for the family, and I'm fortunate enough that being able to have two jobs that my wife doesn't have to work, so she can actually stay home and take care of the kids, which is very rare right now.
Yep.
So that's pretty much my motivation is to try to keep her at home, so that when I retire, then we can hopefully travel.
Yep. And to have enough money for some sexy fits, for some nice clothes, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yep. And of course,
Okay.
the payments, the car payments and equipment payments.
Yep, yep,
That's
yep.
kind of a must. So
Yeah. Very cool. Well, cool to hear, a little bit about your biz. And I love seeing the family dynamic there. I have a lot of respect for, guys that are coming into logging. Um, side of things. I didn't see your suspenders, so I didn't know if you're for sure a logger, but I believe you
Uh,
now.
yeah, no, I had to change outfits today because I have to go to something a little bit nicer than my work attire would allow.
Are the suspenders, are those like a necessary thing for logging, or is that just like cool style?
I have found because I've worn belts and suspenders.
Okay.
I find that in my older age, being dad body,
Yep.
suspenders are a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't have that tight belt around the waist.
I think for street cred too, you gotta let people know that you're cutting down big trees. Yeah, I like the vibes. I like the vibes. Very cool. Well, Richard, I appreciate you taking the time. Um, I hope that your kids are gonna carry on the tradition. And yeah, really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.